Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Okay, so I wanted to do a quick video on designing a training session. So obviously, as you know, the different roles of coaching I've had over the last 10 years or so, I've had to design lots of practice sessions for players. And sometimes in like group format, sometimes in like a one-to-one format. And I think it's something that because a lot of players practice on their own, they don't always necessarily know what's the best way of going about how to put my practice session together. I've got all day. I've got 2-3 hours. It might be the case I've got 30 minutes. So what should that process look like, and how would you decide on what you work on and stuff like that? So I've tried to break it down really simple into three key pieces. The 3 C's of designing a practice session or a training session, as I would call it. And I think the format of how this looks like for different players will take different formats. So some players will write it down in a notebook, some players will put it in their phone, some players will like think loosely about it in their head. Personally, I think writing it down is good. There's a power to taking a pen and putting it on paper and writing this stuff down. And it allows you to kind of keep a track of your practice, and it allows you then to consistently push your boundaries and make it better than before. So I'll go through them. The first one is context. So the first C is context. What context means is why. Why am I, like Simon Sinek, start with why. Why am I practicing today? Is it to improve my technique? Is it to prepare for an upcoming tournament? Is it to work on my skills? Is it to work on my performance? Is it why are you practicing? That's the first thing. Why are you having this training session? And if you don't have a solid why, it's unlikely that you'll have the kind of attitude that you want to carry into your practice or training session. So the first one would be context. Why are you practicing today? What's it for? The second one, that would be content. So the second C is content. So what's the content of the training session going to be? What are you going to do? How is this going to relate back to the why of your training session? So, for example, if it's okay, I'm practicing today because I'm playing the British Am next week. What are you going to do in this training session that's going to leave you at the end of it better prepared for the British Am next week? So, for example, let's say you're playing the British Ams with a lot of dry weather, so you think that's going to be a lot of putting from off the green. Then the content of your practice session might be actually practicing really long range putts, the kind of things that you're going to face the following week. It could be that, say for example, you are going to play a tournament where you know the greens are quite small and quite tight. Then you might be the content of your practice session might be doing drills that are working on hitting targets with small proximity. So you're prepared for the fact that you'll have small targets. You're prepared for the fact that you won't have the normal margin for error. And then another part of the practice session might be a lot of short game, because you know the targets are small. You know you're going to have a lot of up and downs. So you're going to work on those 2 pieces. Number 1, hitting it closer. Number 2, accepting the fact that you're not going to hit as many greens as normal, and working on your up and downs as a result. And then the final piece would be conclusion. So you've got your context. Why am I practicing? What's it for? What's the point of this? Why am I here today? Why am I driving to the practice round right now? Content is, what am I going to practice? What does it look like? What am I going to do? What kind of drills am I going to do? And how are they going to leave me better than I was the week before? Or how are they going to leave me better prepared for what's coming ahead of me? Or how are they going to deliver the kind of movement that I'm after? And then the final piece is conclusion. So conclusion is really simple. It's if I could do that all over again, what would I do different? So if I had the chance to do that practice session again, what would I do different? And then the second piece would be, what did I do well? And I think what that does is the conclusion, by asking yourself what would I do different, it probably looks for the bits of your process that you could probably have pulled out to get maybe a better score in the performance drill that you were doing. Or maybe it would be, I don't know if I would do that same drill for the length of time that I did it. And then the second piece is like, what did I do well? And what that does is it leaves you with a positive frame of the things that you did well. Let's say, for example, you're doing a performance game, and let's say that you didn't get it finished, or you really struggled with it. The what did I do well piece was like, I was really resilient. I stuck at it the whole way through. I didn't give up. I fought through the desire to quit. So that would be, as even though you might not have had a great score, you could still pull out something that you did really well from it. So there you go. So when I'm designing a session, or if I'm helping a player design a practice session, that's what I look for. It's the 3 C's of designing a good training session: context, content, and conclusion. And this can be done even like the current climate that we're in right now is we're like stuck indoors and stuff. This can be like, if you're going to go do some putting on a mat indoors, if you're going to go out onto into the backyard and make a few swings, you can still do the same thing. It can be like, well, context, why am I doing this? The content, what am I going to do? And then the conclusion, what would I do different if I had the chance to do it all over again? And then what did I do really well? So I hope that helps. And if there's anything else that you would add in, or any feedback they have, I'm always all ears to hear everybody's opinion. So thanks a lot.